How's it going, everybody? My name is Connor Mascola, and I am your children's 8th grade technology teacher this year. What you're seeing on the board here, this is something very similar to what the students would see. If they came into class either virtually via Google Meet and our Google Classroom, or in person, okay? And we've kind of structured it to be more fitting to you. If you were coming in person, it would say, parents and guardians will be able to learn about the environment of the culture of your children's tech class, okay? That would be obviously not parents and guardians for the kids. It would say SWBA2 students will be able to. So the SWABAT, as we commonly call it, it's a way to guide our students into their daily learning activities that day. It helps give them guidance, and it also acts as a directive to objectives and goal-based learning. So that we see what we have to accomplish that day, and we do whatever we can to get towards those goals, okay? That do now, all right, from you, it would say something about if you were here in person, but the do now for the students obviously has been adjusted for the circumstances to be an initial prompt action that they can respond to when they first get into the Google Meet or into the classroom physically, as we're in a hybrid setting at the moment. So, these are ways to get started. We're trying to keep as much structure as possible, given the circumstances, to make sure everybody's on the same page, especially in a hybrid setting. And it's as much for me, honestly, as it is for the kids in terms of maintaining that structure to make sure we can keep track of everyone at once. It's been a unique start to the year, but we're trying to get adjusted to it, students and staff alike. All right, so with that said, this is Technology 8. My name is Connor Mascola, and I am the 8th grade tech teacher here. So with that being said, there's a chance I may have had a few of your children in the past, either through clubs, through basketball, or tech in 7th grade, even as recently as last year. I do run a podcast club here at the middle school, open to 6th through 8th graders, where students are also able to learn about technology as a form or medium of expression, communication, and learning about how to broadcast, how to edit audio, and how to do so in a way where it's customized for their own liking. There's a lot of creativity and freedom involved in that, and the kids 6th through 8th grade seem to enjoy it. I also am the JV boys basketball coach at the high school. Our season right now, we're hoping it gets played, going into late November here with the start date projected. So we'll see. Our off-season activities have been suspended somewhat, given the circumstances of COVID and all. But we hope to get back to the court eventually. It's something I've been very prideful about being a part of, as the basketball program has been making great strides, both with success on and off the court, as we try to develop the character of the players. Then obviously I'm the tech teacher here, and that's always going to be my primary job. Okay, so teachers can do all these additional activities, and it's great. I try to do as many things as I can, even beyond what I just said, okay, to be more visible and helpful and available to the children. But my biggest job is going to be teaching class every day, being that consistent person that they can look to for reliable source of hopefully a fun technology learning environment. So with that said, let's get into it here. The extra help policy. The extra help policy is available to students in person, either during a free period that I'm also free, or after school by appointment. Okay. Now, I'm pretty much trying to make myself available as much as possible. Even if they want to come during a period where I have another class, that's fine with me. Just give me a heads up. Okay. Make sure they come to me, say, can I come in for lunch today or tomorrow? Don't just show up and assume I'll be there, because I might be in a meeting, or I might be going to grab my own lunch. That there could be different things. So just give me a heads up, but I'll make sure I'm there for them. Okay. Remotely as well, if they need to set up a Google Meet for some additional learning time, or they're just enthusiastic and they want some extra time to work on our activities, that's great. And my goal is to foster belief and excitement about technology and engineering. And if they want to work, that means I'm, getting my point across to them, or they're furthering their, interest to me, and that's where we want to be. So it's a good thing. Okay. So don't ever make them feel like, or don't ever let them either make you feel like I'm not making technology available beyond the 42-minute window, which we have it every day. Okay. That said, what is technology? All right. Technology is the study of the advancement of the human-made world, heavily rooted in hands-on problem solving. We really teach the design process throughout the entire program. As 6th and 7th graders, we progress the program with a little more autonomy, a little more sophistication of the projects. But I will say the one thing that does restrict us in ways beyond this year is that 8th grade is 1 quarter. So with that being the case, it's definitely going to scale us back a little bit in terms of overall things we can do from a time standpoint. Then given the standpoint of we're in cohorts A and B, some people are fully remote, we are adjusting the schedule. So what you see here, is generally where we go. As we would be coming into the year, we work with rocketry and bridge design, and right now we've been using West Point Bridge Designer Program, and we're looking to start building bridges. But we will get into rockets and construction and learning about history and aerodynamics of rockets and things of that nature. So these are some activities that the students can do competitively, they have fun with, and we'll still try to accomplish them as much as possible given the circumstance in a way that we can make it happen. Grading. Grading in technology, 75%. What did you accomplish that was needed for submission? Okay. In the Google Classroom, we're really creating now a log of all the things that the kids need to accomplish on a day-to-day basis. And that's great for a few reasons. One, it gives you an easy place to submit your work. Two, it gives you a constant, area to check back to for updates, for information, for materials, for things that you may have forgotten, for lessons that you may have been absent for. So if there's one positive thing that's been coming out of this situation, it's been more of an availability of Google Classroom and resources to the students from an all-time availability. That said, we'll wait out, the projects accordingly. 25%. Individual student responsibilities. Are they doing what they're supposed to do, right? Do they come to class on time? Are they respectful to their teachers and peers? Are they being safe with any potential tools or machines or items that they're using at their own workstations? And, keep in mind when I say that, we're adjusting their workstations for anything we're doing physically, to be in compliance with school guidelines here. Everyone's wearing their masks. Everyone's going to be wearing gloves when they work on anything physically. We have sanitizer around to continuously make sure that their work areas are clean, and that they're not, we're reducing the idea of sharing things and whatnot. So we're customizing the projects to fit around the circumstances best as possible for both the safety and productivity standpoint of the students. But yeah, that individual student responsibility, just doing the right thing. Okay, this is a class where we encourage participation. That doesn't always mean shooting your hand up in the sky. That can just be, making sure you're holding up your end and, you're actively engaged in whatever it is we're learning. All right. That said, as you accomplish your goals within the class, you're going to earn something called Mascola money. Okay. I developed this, going back to grad school as an extrinsic motivational tool. You do something well, you get a reward, but, hopefully it develops as an intrinsic tool where now these positive things they do are more ingrained in habit as opposed to simply for physical rewards. So, normally we would have physical money, 1s, 5s, 11s, and 29s. I invented it, so I'm trying to make it fun for them. But given the COVID situation and the idea that we can't really hand out physical money, I've created Mascola money debit card accounts for every student where their accounts are being updated. You get money for doing good things. In theory, you could lose money for taking away, for doing poor things. And at the end of the quarter, we'll open up a Mascola money store where they can earn different sorts of rewards and prizes. Okay. in addition to that, there's other ways they can spend their money. Behind me here, we have the Mascola Money Chance Wheel, and that's been fun for kids as they look to, spin to win different prizes and rewards. We also have introduced in the last few years Mascola Money Stock Ticker Tuesdays. Well, on Tuesday, they can learn about the stock market, invest in companies they like Snapchat or Starbucks, or Under Armour, things like that. So there's a Mascola Money equivalence, and they can buy and sell stocks, and they can see how the tech world is involved in that. And especially with the COVID situation, we've seen how physical money is being traded less and less, and also used for finances less and less. For this year, the first time ever, we have introduced Mascola coin, the first ever suffering middle school cryptocurrency. So based off the value of one Bitcoin, we equivalents of Mascola money for one Mascola coin. Okay, so it's usually whatever the American dollar value is, divide by 20, you get your Mascola coin value. Okay, and they're learning about how cryptocurrency can go up and down like a stock, based off how strong the currency is in a given day, and how it's been utilized, and how the market is viewing it and things of that nature. But how it's actual money and how you can use it to spend Bitcoin on or Mascola coin for their purposes on actual goods, where you could trade it with other students, or you could try to use it like a stock to grow your income. So hopefully they're learning some financial literacy in a tech-minded manner as they continue to learn the normal technological stuff and engineering-related stuff that we work on. So last thing I'm going to say is just thank you for everything that you all do. Without the care and support of wonderful community and wonderful parent and guardian base that these kids go home to every day, it wouldn't be the things we do as educators, it wouldn't be possible. And we have you to thank for that. Since March, it's been a real struggle for educators to accomplish various things. It's certainly not lost on us that it's been very difficult for parents for various reasons related to education. And the biggest thing we've noticed is there's had to be more of an onus on the students to pick up their end of the individual responsibility of checking Google Classroom, being in the Google Meets in time, right? Not being in school. They've had to push themselves to do the right thing a little more. And I do think as 8th graders, if one positive comes out of this, maybe they go into high school a little more independent. And I'm going to help try to foster that positive environment for them. And I appreciate that so many of you are that as much as possible at home, and trying to keep a positive spin on everything, given the uniqueness and honestly the strangeness of everything that's going on. So hopefully when we do eventually go back to normal, they have more of an appreciation for what really does go on behind to get them to succeed and to get them to be happy with their academic endeavors. Okay, so with that said, thank you again. Okay, please email me whenever if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you all in person, but I hope you have a lovely evening, and I will talk to you all soon. Okay, so with that said, have a good night. Have a good evening, good day, whatever time it is you're viewing this. And yeah, that's all I have. So have a good one.